bad news, I know it's all news, but also bad news for everybody. People of bad news, I know it's all news, but I've got bad news for everybody. Holy water is no juice, but I know us Jews, we don't like to lose to anybody. People buy views, but I don't buy views. Don't turn on my fuse and watch your back. Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es Sandra Michel, o mejor conocida como Sandrushka Petrova, y el día de hoy estoy aquí colaborando con WARP Magazine. Vamos a platicar con la cantante del momento Noga Erez, que es de Israel y es una multiinstrumentista, compositora, productora, tiene formación en danza, todo el paquete. Sin más introducción, aquí los dejo con la conversación que tuvimos sobre su más reciente lanzamiento, el álbum llamado Kids, que está disponible en todas las plataformas digitales de confianza. Corran, vean y no se pierdan de lo que tiene que decirnos Noga. So, hi Noga. I'm so thrilled to meet you. It's an honor to have you today with us in this conversation for WARP Magazine.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Good morning. How are you feeling today?
Well, it's the evening here.
Oh, yeah.
It's 8 in the evening. My WhatsApp is open, so let me turn it off.
Okay.
Or is it not? That's so weird. Oh, so I was hearing it from one of your computers. Anyways, yeah, I've had a really long day and a long week and a long couple of months, but everything is truly amazing and exciting, and I'm full of adrenaline, so I'm good.
That's a good thing. I mean, like, first of all, I want to say congratulations for your new album release, Kids. Like, wow, it's an amazing album. The songs are so well written, the production is impeccable, the musical arrangements are so refreshing. The visual world you have on the video clips and everything you put up on the internet is so consistent, so brilliant, so unique. I'm very surprised. I'm deeply surprised. I met you recently 2 months ago through a friend that introduced me to your music. And since that day, it was like someone put a spell on me and I can't stop listening to your music. And I watch your videos at least every weekend. Like, that's my new thing.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, I mean, what's the story behind this person? I'm pretty sure you're from another world.
No, I'm just a person, you know. I work really hard on trying to figure out, you know, the best way to put out music videos, and I released an album in 2015. It's 17. It was called it is still called Off the Radar. And that was my school for how to do things. I mean, I was experimenting with everything back then, and I was so clear about what I wanted to improve after that album. And I kept remembering it and focusing on it, on the process of making Kids and making the videos. And I have people around me who just help me do it. So I think that's a combination of all of these things.
Yeah, I see you have like a very solid creative team around you. Like, who is the choreographer that works for your videos and the director of the music videos? I mean, it's amazing.
Well, I think the most important one to mention here is my music partner, Ori Russo, who is also my life partner. And besides being my music partner, the vision behind everything is kind of a product of conversations that we have with one another on the sofa here at our home. We live in this one room studio apartment in Tel Aviv, and our studio is here, our bedroom is here, the kitchen, it's all in the same room. Creativity in life is kind of like happening all at the same time, and we never stop thinking about, you know, what's the next creative thing that we want to do. And at some point, when we started to think about the videos for this album, we saw a video by Indy Height that he did for a band from Israel called Lola Marsh. And Indy is a director who's half Israeli, half Ukrainian, and he's a dancer. And he's like a multi-talent, creative, because he also does, After Effects on the videos, and he directs in films, and he's like he's all in one. But also, what's the best thing about him is he's a visionary, and we were able to create this style or this language together with the videos, where the decision was to focus on videos that happen in one location, that are simple and minimalistic, and that forces you to describe them in one sentence. So if you describe the views video, you can say the video with the endless staircase, or the video with the robot, something that you can really easily describe and someone would understand what you mean. And it's a long process of searching and trying to figure out who you are creatively. I think this time we were able to make a step forward.
I think that's the goal. I mean, to have a team and someone that can do many stuff in one person. I mean, like, I guess you are blessed to have all this creative energy around you, and that can, come together in this musical artistic concept and bring your vision and your worldview to us in the most perfectly well-crafted way. So
thank you so much.
I want to congratulate you, because we need more people like you in the world. Seriously, like, what does your braid feed from? Like, where do you get your inspiration for the songs? I know you have like this political thing, but also you have like these metaphors, I think, in your lyrics that are kind of poetic, but with a lot of humor at the same time. And I think it's very cool that you get, like, you pick an interesting phrase and you repeat it, and through this repetition it makes more and more sense, and it becomes something like almost philosophical, I believe. Like, yeah. I don't know what really happens at the end of the road when you repeat that question so much. It's like, okay, this is something to think about.
Yeah, this is such a trick. I mean, you're definitely onto something because Ori and I had this conversation about, like Kelly 47, the rapper.
Yeah.
All her songs, I think that all her songs have one or two sentences. So one would be, this shit is a girl blunt. I only smoke girl blunts. And then that would be the chorus. But she would repeat that chorus so many times until you're like, okay, I get it. I mean, I really understand that, and I resonate with that. And she has, she has like money. I got money. I mean, I think, the concept of taking something, because I think what creates beautiful art is how you take the different elements and combine them in a way that would be understood to people other than you. Because I think that I could have easily become an artist who makes music that no one understands. I mean, that's where I came from. I used to make music that was almost avant-garde, was very hard to listen to. This sort of like extremely complex jazz music that was only made for me to feel like I have a brain or whatever. But I think that what makes art beautiful is if you're talking about a concept that is super complex, then you can balance it with a hook that is very simple. Or if you're talking about something very, very basic or almost cliche, then you can wrap it around with something that is a bit more complex. And I think that those are the balances that we're trying to do. If you're making a video that is incredibly minimalistic, you have to put a lot of emotional content into it instead of visual content. It's all about those balances and knowing what you have standing in front of you. And sometimes what we have in front of us, the materials that we're dealing with, are given. I'm not saying given to us by God. I'm saying we are musicians, we are able to improvise ideas, and then if we find something that we want to repeat, then we repeat that. And then around it, if it's a very complex idea, we repeat it more. If it's a very simple idea, we just wrap it around with something that would make it sound darker. And that's it. And some humor, because we're talking about some really serious things and
heavy stuff. You have to find that perfect balance. And I think that's your superpower.
Thank you.
It's very clever, it's sophisticated, it's artsy, but it's accessible to any human being in this world. And
I hope so.
Congratulations. You went to a music and dance academy?
Yeah.
And you were a military musician? Like, what does that mean?
I don't know. It means nothing. It's like the weirdest, most surreal concept in the whole world. I mean, for me, music is the purest art. It's for me the one thing that captures the things that we cannot talk about the best way. I mean, and that is why people get touched by music so much, and that is why people keep listening to music while they do other things. And and then when I was 18, military service in Israel is you have to do it. I mean, it's mandatory, and women have to do it for 2 years, and men have to do it for 3 years. And I was one of the lucky ones, because you don't get to continue to do what you're doing in the army. But I was chosen to be one of those musicians that would basically drive from base to base and play to soldiers. And honestly, those were some of my worst experiences as a musician. It really helped me understand that the stage is something that is not given to me. It's something that I have to take, because very often I would go and perform in front of people who would just not want to be listening to music at the moment, and then I had to do so much for them to be into it. And whenever I was able to succeed, I felt the ultimate satisfaction. And I think that was what helped me decide that that's what I want to do, because if I'm able to get people who didn't want to listen at the back of the room in the bar, who are just talking to one another and they're not into it, if at some point in the show they're turning around like, oh, okay, then I don't know, for me it's like the ultimate success.
Yeah, you woke them up in a way.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. And you are seriously waking the world up with your concept. I would like to know all about the creative process of how do you write the songs? I mean, not only in a technical way, but I'm a songwriter, so that's why I'm deeply interested, because everything that I could learn from other songwriters and that feeds me is like the point of my whole existence, I guess, in a way. So every time I watch your music videos and I listen to your songs, I try to imagine the process. What is this like? you play a lot of instruments, also your creative partner, you produce and write the songs together, and also you have a relationship, which in my experience, it's a complex thing to pull
Yeah.
off with, having a band and a romance, and it's so intense. And if you're both creative people, it can get, I don't know, pretty
Messy.
tricky. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, luckily, the thing with me and Ori is we're both like, full on artists, and we have all the characteristics of artists. We have moods, we're emotional people, and things affect us in different ways. But at the same time, I think both Ori and I we have a realistic view on life, and we don't get offended too easily, and we have a huge deep respect towards one another. I mean, for me, if I can only say from my perspective, Ori is the most genius producer that I have ever met, that I have ever heard. If I would have heard his beats somewhere else, I think that I would think that is the best. And I know every single day that I'm so lucky to have him around me. And besides that, he's able to so sensitively help me improve without making me feel not good enough, and that's like a weird little balance, because as my producer, when I'm like on the vocals and I have to record my vocals, and that is a very vulnerable place for me. I hate recording vocals, I hate my voice, and it
What?
really takes me time. I mean,
Yeah.
eventually I like it, but it takes me a long time to get there. And he needs to be able to tell me, if something isn't working, or what I should be doing for it to work. And that's the wisdom about Ori, that he's able to do things in a sensitive way, but also help me to push my boundaries all the time. And I think that is what's keeping this relationship so I don't know. I think we have a good harmony together. And when it comes to the creative process, the thing is that with most of the songs, I have those songs that I listen to the song and I'm like, how the hell did they write this song? I mean, it sounds to me like, how did they come up with that? I mean,
Yeah.
but the thing is, I think with some songs it's very clear, and with some songs it's less. And I think that the ones where it's less clear, usually they are the ones that the artist has probably worked on more. And then, what initiated the process could have been a beat, and then you would improvise a melody on top of it, and then something would come up from your improvisation with a lyric that would be interesting, and you would start rhyming around it and finding words that sound similar to it and kind of play with it. And but then, because we produce while we write the music, it goes through so much transformations in that process that I kind of feel like you can't really say that is how he wrote the song, because it usually it takes a lot of time, and the process is very layered.
Yeah, and I imagine it can vary from song to song. And
Definitely.
I see like you have these two formats, like the acoustic, more organic arrangements that I just can say like respect. It's that I think that's my most favorite format of your music, because I can listen to all the details of the arrangements, like the piano, the chord progressions, the brass section, the singers, and you're doing like this clap hand choreography, very simple yet very effective. um I love it, but I also love like your electronic, more surreal world that is more tailor made for the visual world, I think.
Mm-hmm.
um do you write the song in a more like, do you start writing the songs in a guitar or in an acoustic instrument or on beats, and then you make the arrangement for the acoustic version, or vice versa? I don't know. I'm curious about that because I write songs on a piano and a vocal, and then I start layering with a bunch of production.
Yeah. I feel like the best songs are written the way that you just described. Or I don't know the best songs, but the more
Like
song.
intimate.
You know,
Yeah.
you feel like there's a song when it started with just one instrument and someone singing on top of it. We do have songs like that, and with many of the songs it starts with a beat. For me as a creative, it's really easy for me to listen to something that is already happened, like an atmosphere, and then see what it makes me feel, and then write from that point and forward. But then many times, you know, what would happen is that I would find a chord progression that would make me feel something. I mean, you have to find that one thing that would spark your creativity. But what happened with the acoustic versions was that we already had the album versions. They were, you know, produced on the computer with electronic instruments and some live instruments, but you can really feel the production in them. And then at some point we were like, we felt like we had songs, you know.
Yeah.
We were able to sit in the living room and kind of play the songs on a guitar, and for us it was like yay, because we were not able to do that with Off the Radar. We love Off the Radar, but that was just an entirely different thing. And so we were like, we have to show the world that these are songs. I mean, because sometimes production, even if it's amazing, and even if it helps the song, it kind of hides the most important parts of the song, which is the lyrics and the melody. I mean,
Yeah,
for me that's the
absolutely.
thing. And then harmony. And then so we wanted to strip it down and also have no machines playing in those versions. So that's why we call it Kids Against the Machine.
Wow, wow, that's beautiful. And I agree with you. Like, to me, a song, to know if a song is good, like, just play it with a guitar or the piano and your voice, and if it touches your soul, it's a good song.
That's true.
Um, and speaking about production and quality and all this stuff you do very well, please tell us all about this show, this special show you are preparing. It looks thrilling. I'm so excited. It's happening. I'm so excited that someone takes the time, the effort to develop their musical and artistic ideas in the way that you do. So I have my ticket. I'm preparing this special evening with my friends. I'm making vegan pizza to
Yay!
celebrate. Are you vegan?
I am.
Yay!
Yeah.
Vegan
I've been
team.
vegan for 11 years.
Wow!
Yeah, I've been vegan when it was considered to be something that insane people do.
It-
The
yeah.
show, the show. I mean, it's our well, you know, obviously you want to make a show to make a show, but this time we have to admit that this is in order for us to be able to compensate the fact that we can't tour. And we've been watching in the past year, you know, live shows being streamed online, and I found that, you know, it's hard, it's difficult for artists to translate that energy that you have in a live show, obviously, to something that eventually people are going to watch on the screen, even if they have like a whole setup and the best sound and the best screen, and they have their friends and alcohol and vegan pizza. You know, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing because you don't get the smell and the sweat and the energy and you know, I'm not trying to say that this is what people are gonna get, but for sure what you're gonna get is something that did not aim to be a live show. It aimed to be something that should have been consumed through a screen, something that was so aware to the details of how it was shot, how it was edited, how the choreography between photographers, dancers, musicians is happening in every single moment. It's a very ambitious concept that you know, it's the craziest project that I ever did in my life, but the aim is to watch a 45 minutes music video that is played live. So that
Wow.
is basically the experience.
Wow. And I mean, certainly that takes a lot of work. And also, I understand you are playing two different shows. Like, that's the unbelievable part to me. Like, are you rehearsing two
No, we're
special
not.
shows?
No, 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 no. Well, the two different shows, we just didn't want to record a show and then play it again, because we're doing this for different time zones, you know, for US and Latin America in April 2nd, and then Europe and Israel, because we wanted people to be able to watch it. And it's not gonna be there after. You have to watch it on time. And but it's not like we're preparing two different shows. We're not trying to kill ourselves. We're just trying to give this experience the same sense of if you went to a show in, you know, in Mexico and then went to a show in Colombia, you know, or so you're gonna see the artist perform the same show basically, but then the energy is different, the takes are different, the photographers are gonna catch it very differently. It's all, you know, the human
Mhm.
aspect is gonna be very doing the you know, the difference, and my outfit.
That's great. Speaking of outfits, what's behind your so impeccable style of fashion? Like, is it something you have always had, or is it something you've worked through your musical career? Because I see you like this natural creative force that is just like brilliant, and you know what you're doing. It's like you can tell this girl knows exactly what she is saying and doing and expressing. You are very eloquent. What's with the fashion?
Well, it's both things at the same time. It was always there, but I had to discover it. And well, my thing is suits, you know.
Yeah.
And when I was
Wow.
when I was 6 or 5, my thing was to go to my dad's closet and try on his suits, because I remember him getting ready for work, and he used to have like a really hectic job, where he would need to wear suits for his job. And I remember this ceremony of him getting ready for work in the morning, shaving and putting on his socks, and he was like wearing his suit, and everything was very, very neat. And I remember that after he was going to work, it was always early in the AM. I would go to his closet and try on his suits, because I felt like it was so cool. And on me, it looked like a, you know, a big dress, but a manly dress. And that kind of was what I was, you know, when I was a child. I was kind of like this combination between boy and girl. And I was like basically, and still am, a tomboy, but in like a grown-up version. And for a while I was trying a bunch of things, and I was always talking to stylists about how I wanted to wear suits, and they would always kind of tell me, but you know, you know, all the stylists that I've worked with did not love this idea. And the first moment that I tried on a suit, when I was, you know, just I happened to be in the store, it was like I looked at it and it was like, this is all I should be wearing in the next year. This is what I want to look like. Oversized suit that makes me look a bit like a child wearing a suit, you know, her dad's suit.
Yeah, like you're plain. I used to do that with my sister's wardrobe, and you know, like the heels and the earrings and everything looks like enormous. It
Yeah.
kind of reminds me of David Byrne with the gigantic suit, and
Yeah.
I saw it on your album cover, and I was like, she must like David Byrne. I'm sure. Yeah. It's very original, and also I think it represents, I know, femininity in this actual time where everything is less um, binary, I guess.
Right, right, right. I wasn't even thinking about this through a gender perspective. I have to be honest about this because I know, I mean, but I know that eventually that is what it states. And I think that I'm not, the thing is that I grew up in a home where the gender thing, I mean, everyone were so accepting and so equal. And I met the, inequality when it comes to gender later on, obviously. And it was never a part of my statement. I'm a feminist because I believe in human rights, but I'm not carrying the
An
message of
agenda.
feminism on myself as an artist or in my work. But I realized that just by how I am and what I'm about, this is exactly kind of the thing. I mean, I don't have to do anything that puts me in any type of gender, or I mean, I can just choose to be whatever I want to be with how I express myself.
Yeah, I think that's the brilliant part, is that it's not like your agenda, or it's not like that's what it's all about. It's put there in a subtle way, and us women, like, we feel it's authentic. So I'm glad you pull that off in a very specific and clever and beautiful way. Also, you are insanely beautiful. So I think you could wear a plastic bag and you will look amazing.
Thank you so
Speaking,
much.
I mean, I know we almost have to cut because you must be very busy. Just want to know, what are your female role model influentials? What did you listen as you were growing up as a kid? Who made you, like, I guess we all have like this heroine that we say, like, I want to do what she does, and I want to be on a stage, and I want to scream and put my heart out there. Who was that for you?
Well, that was PJ Harvey for me.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, for me, I think the thing about empowerment, that the thing that you see somebody doing something and then it makes you want to do it, or you see somebody doing something so incredible, but at the same time you don't seem to think that it's impossible. That's empowerment, the way I see it. Because sometimes we look at people and they do something incredible, and for me the first thing that I think is like, I could never do that.
Yeah.
But I think that, and it's also something that I have in mind when I make things, is that I don't want to make something that would look impossible for other people to do. I want to be able to create that sense of, I'm able to do something of my own like that. And that was my thing with PJ Harvey, because she was doing something that felt very elegant and neat and clever, but at the same time, everything about her told me, you're going to be able to do that yourself if you would just decide and work on it. And that's why I think it is so important for people in general and for creatives specifically, not to try to look for something that feels perfect or feels so finished, or it's so good to see something that feels like it's still searching itself. And it's very, very true to what I do. I'm just constantly searching and documenting it as I go.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I guess, like, these artists or female role models. Well, I say female. I like males too, but female role models were the ones who made me decide I was going to be a musician. And I guess what you say makes a lot of sense. Like, they make it accessible and relatable. So I just have to say, um, whatever PJ Harvey did to you, I hope you do to a million trillion girls in this world, and I'm pretty sure you are. You are doing that already with me and a lot of people that are listening and discovering your music. You are a true inspiration, Noga. Please keep on going with this
Thank you so much.
unique perspective, and you found your own voice. That's a hard thing to do in music. Like we are searching all to find our own voice in our music and our style, and it's a thing that takes time and development and a lot of work. So congratulations for doing everything so perfect in its own imperfectness, I
Thank
guess.
you. Oh my God. That was so beautiful. I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
And I'm sure, and I only desire good things happening to your project, and you're about to take the world, I'm sure. Like
Wow.
this
Thank
is
you.
so cool that all of this is happening to you. I'm so thrilled. It was an honor to meet you, seriously. And we will be dancing and singing your songs with vegan
Yeah.
pizza. I will see both shows. I
Oh,
will, and we will be supporting you from
yay.
Mexico
Oh my God, that's
so
amazing.
much. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much,
much.
and
That
good
was
luck.
beautiful.
Good luck with the shows. Good luck with the album release, with your career. Have a great life. Thank
Good
you
luck
so
to you
much.
as well. I hope you do well with music and with doing this because you're doing it incredibly well.
Thank you.
It's still a
I'm not a
conversation.
journalist, but I
Yeah.
just, I guess I have a natural curiosity to talk with
Mhm.
songwriters.
Amazing. So that's why I liked it so much because you're not a journalist.
Yeah, I also like, my favorite interviews are the ones where I feel I'm talking to a human being, and
Yeah.
especially an artist. So thank you for inspiring us with your music, and I'm glad you exist in this world. And everyone, stop doing what you are doing. Seriously, you have to go and listen, run, listen to this album, kids. Watch Noga Erez videos, and then buy tickets to this show, because I'm sure your life will be 100% better after watching these shows.
Oh, yeah. I hope so. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and good luck. Have a beautiful evening. Have a beautiful life. And say hi to your partner, Ori Russo.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye.